come and we're going to be asking the question, who was Jesus really? Was there significantly more to the story than what he told me? Yes. Actually, what was happening was much bigger, much grander than my faintest hope or idea. And that is actually what is happening in the story of Simeon and Anna. We know that Jesus has had this miraculous birth. But what Luke and what Simeon and Anna are trying to present to us is that actually Jesus is even bigger than you thought. The story then on how great Jesus is. He's bigger than you thought he would be. So I want to draw out 3 ways this morning that Simeon and Anna attempt to show us how great Jesus is. First, they tell us that Jesus is hope for the waiting. Hope for the waiting. If you notice in this passage, there's some really important context that we need to draw out. What were Simeon and Anna doing when Jesus steps on the scene? Both of them were doing the same thing, the text says. They were waiting. They were waiting. Simeon, it says, was a godly man, full of character. He was full of the Holy Spirit, the text says, but he was, verse 25, waiting for the consolation of Israel. Then the scene pans and we get Anna. Anna is a prophetess. She's also filled with the Holy Spirit. She's also got this incredibly faithful, godly character. And what was she doing? Verse 38, she was waiting for the redemption of Israel. So we're presented with these 2 older saints, faithful saints, who were both in a season of waiting. And I find this so encouraging, and I hope it's encouraging to you this morning, because in my own faith and in my life, it always seems like I am in a season of waiting. Right? There are always these longings, oftentimes good longings, that remain unfulfilled. So we wait. You know, some of you are waiting to have kids. Some of you are waiting for that job change. Some of you are waiting to get married. Some of you are waiting to finally get healthy again. Some of you are waiting for your adult children to come back to the faith. These are all good longings that are unfulfilled, so we wait. Waiting his whole life for this promise to be fulfilled, and he sees Jesus in his mother's arms, and he says, here it is. Finally, the comfort that I've been waiting my life to see. And here's what's amazing. He's not talking about a temporary relief from deep problems, whether you're in a good circumstance or a bad circumstance, whether you're hurting or not hurting, wherever you find yourself in life, there can be a comfort for you, a comfort that one day God himself is going to restore all things and put an end to suffering. Tolkien said it this way: everything sad is coming untrue. And as the people of God, we hold on to that promise. Or even if we're in a moment of pain, we like Isaiah, can look to the future and say, one day our God is going to bring ultimate healing to this world and to my life. We tend to believe that comfort comes from a change of circumstance, right? If I could remove from my life the cause of discomfort, then I would be comfortable. That makes sense to us, right? If I could just get rid of all these pesky people and things in my life that cause me discomfort, then I will be comfortable. But in fact, the Bible teaches something very different than this. We seek comfort in many different ways. And typically, we learn this from our parents or somebody in our family. Some of us have learned in a moment of suffering to just stuff it in, to put a smile on and pretend like it never happened. That's some of us in the room. Others of you tend to explode, get angry. Others tend to isolate themselves, not going to let anybody into my pain. Others try to numb it, medicate it, just take the edge off. That cuts us open to heal. So this morning, there is an abundance of comfort available to us. comfort that surpasses all human understanding, but that comfort came through the cross. Jesus took our pain and our suffering and offered us his comfort. So the question for us as we move into a new year, bypass the road of suffering, the road of the cross, the road of discipleship, and have you sought temporary relief when Jesus himself is offering you abiding comfort? So Jesus is comfort for the suffering. But lastly, we see Jesus is light for the searching. In Simeon's prophecy, he says that Jesus is, quote, a light for revelation to the Gentiles. Jesus is a light for revelation. You've searched out the religions and you've searched out philosophies. You've tried all the things. God is inviting you this morning to see him clearly through his light of revelation, Jesus Christ. He is hope for the waiting. He is comfort for the suffering. Of those things, what do we do in response to that? Right? If he is those things, if he is hope and he is comfort and he is light, how do I approach him? How do I respond to him? So as we move into a new year, we have Netflix or another meal at the nice restaurant or another drink. Or first and foremost say, my priority is to move the baggage aside and get to Jesus. Point us to how Jesus is for us the hope, the comfort, the life, the light that we get in him. So this year, God, we want all of it. We don't want to leave anything on the table. We want to run to you. God, for those of us who do not know you in the room this morning, those listening, God, I pray that this morning they would respond, turning aside from the things that just reflect on what Christ has done, and then we'll take it.